doing a tour around South Africa. This is day number 52 of 90 days in a row. And this is show number 105 that I've done in a row. It is, I can't help but beam. There's a little bit of pride. I'm not conceited, I'm just proud that I got through it. But we're almost there. 180 shows, and it's not because I've gone absolutely balmy, it's because I have a passion for two things. One is a passion for music. Obviously, I'm a full-time musician and songwriter, and this is what I do for a living. Even though it's a tough business, I can't help myself. I've been doing it since I was a little girl. And my second passion is justice and people. And so a couple years ago, I was trying to find a way that I could contribute back to the community. And finally, in August 2013, I just had an epiphany and realized that I could use my music, that it was actually so simple. And my cause and what drives me on this tour is, I think there's a huge need for a voice for people who are survivors of violent and sexual crime in this country, and that is across the demographics, across religions, cultures, sex, race, age. And I think that we have got our head in the sand a bit, and that we are desensitized, and that it's about time we start to talk about it at least, and find some healing, and give comfort and support to those that have been through it. But most of the songs you'll hear tonight are songs about love and heartbreak, as most girls write. I am going to do some songs you already recognize, because I realize a lot of people don't know who I am and don't know my music. But next year when I come round, you will have bought my CD tonight, and then you can sing along to my songs as well. But this first song I'm doing is one I specifically wrote for the tour, and it's called A Million Hearts. And it was amazing today. I performed at an HIV award, which was the first time I'd done that. And all of a sudden this song applied to them, as music does. Music just applies to whoever's listening to it. And I hope that there's somebody out there that can benefit from my message. The song is about not being alone, and the fact that there are a million hearts out there who care.
Natalie Chapman, welcome to the South Coast. You're on gig number?
Gig number 105.
105 of 180. How many days have you now been on the road?
52. 52 days without a break, yeah. And 52 towns. Well, more like 50, probably close to 60, because we do community gigs and other towns on the way sometimes.
Do you think that you've actually got your message across to the public out there?
I think that my objectives for the tour are very realistic. So I just want to reach one person at each performance, and that has definitely happened, and far more. I mean, you think that the statistics are bad, you know the statistics are bad, and I'm talking rape, violence, people who've just experienced some type of ordeal. And you can never imagine, last year when I did the tour, I just did 90 gigs, and it was overwhelming how many people actually came and spoke to me after the shows. And the children at the schools who go and speak to the teachers afterwards and say something's happening at home, you know. And I think what surprised me the most is that perpetrators also speak to me. People who have done terrible things in their life actually speak to me about it, and it definitely has an impact. And I think it's because it's the combination of music which breaks the ice on a very awkward subject. And then beyond that, it's just I'm very candid about the subject matter. I think that we need to just start saying, this is the reality, it's not normal, and we are being affected by it, and it is, you know, it is hurting us as a nation, and we need to start working from it, from the inside, from the bottom up, you know, from the kids. And in order to do that, our parents need to start guiding our children, our adults need to take responsibility for what's going on.
And you yourself, how are you emotionally affected by what you're needing to do?
I think you learn to put a bit of a wall up. So one of the tough things about this tour is doing so many shows, you can't just do them, you can't just roll with it. You have to be sincere at every performance, because people are expecting it. Some people really have come to hear a message. And so it takes a lot of focus and concentration. And then beyond that, I allow myself to be very vulnerable on stage.
as I always do. I try to be a truthful performer, but then when it comes to listening to people's stories, I try to be a sounding board as opposed to, you know, a sponge, because it can get quite intense. Yeah.
Now, some of the music that you are singing would probably talk directly to the soul.
I think my music is definitely, as I said, very honest. Whether it speaks to everybody, obviously not. But as I was saying, you know, it's just that music changes and adapts to the people that are listening to it. So one day I might be in a prison, and the next day I'm in an HIV ward, and then the next day I'm at an orphanage, and all of a sudden the words the people can relate to them. And I think that's the kind of music I write. It's not ambiguous, but it definitely isn't specific. So it can be taken in different ways. Yeah. So it's handy to be a songwriter like that in this cause.
And from here, where are you off to next?
Tomorrow I move on to Nzumbe, and then it's the rest of KZN up the coast to Durban and into the inland, and then over Lesotho, Free State. We go into Lesotho. This time is new, and then it's through the Free States, bit of Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and then finish in Johannesburg. So we've done all the other provinces already. We've done 8,500 kilometers so far, estimated 18,000 in total.
What is D-Day, the end?
It's day 90, performance number 180. I think might have done a few more. I think I might exceed 180, but it'll be in Johannesburg at Marks Park. It's the 27th of April, and it's Freedom Day.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, do you think we've had a record here?
We have hit a world record. With Guinness, I can't get the record because half of my performances are free performances, and that's one of the criteria. So because I do charity gigs. So yesterday we actually we matched the world record of 101 performances in 50 days. And I think by tomorrow we will have broken it. Because today we did 2, but tomorrow we're doing 3. So yeah, it is a world record, and it does make you feel good. But I won't get any accolades for it, and I won't win the money that I wanted to win for Epic Foundation, which is the organization I carry the flag for.
Tell me about Epic Foundation.
They are Gauteng based, and what they do is they basically help people in crisis, rape survivors, abuse survivors, and they also very strongly use the word survivor like I do, because a victim is somebody who has already passed, in our opinion. Survivor lives and has a reason to live. So it's a better word, I think. You've survived an ordeal and you're still here. And they do work with comfort packs for rape survivors. They do a Step Up project, which is a bridging project for women coming out of shelters who would have been forced to go back to the situation they were in from an abusive relationship, and try to assess them and try to find what skills they have, what level of school they're actually at, and maybe go back to school, learn computer skills, not just beading and, you know, things that are impractical in the modern world, you know. So they do that, and they do a beautiful project called the Fairy Godmother Project, which gives girls who can't afford matric dresses, and now boys as well, they do suits as well. So it's from about August to December that these fittings happen. And all it is people who've got beautiful dresses that they've worn once, and they donate them. And then they've got all kinds of, they've got amazing jewelry and shoes, and these girls end up looking like princesses, and they're the best at the ball, you know, instead of being the girl who had to stay at home. And it is quite something that's a very beautiful, feel-good project. So I also try to pinpoint places in local areas, like in Swellendam we raise money for a baby shelter. So I'm very open to that, because if I see a need and I see people doing good work, then it's worth it for me. I think you just have to be very careful that you know that the people you're raising money for are doing real work, because people, the general public are cynical about charity for a reason, you know. So you have to be careful, and I'm very, very careful. I've been burnt a couple times myself.
Natalie, the logistics of this tour must be something quite horrific. Who arranges everything and sorts everything out for you for your gigs?
I did myself, with the help of a few angels in the world that have come along over the last year to help me. And actually my mom's gotten involved in doing the community gigs as well. And Best of KZN and Beyond's Renee Hartsteff has also done a lot for me in KZN and elsewhere. From the my own website, marketing, social media, and then with regards to the bookings, it's about throwing. I don't have a booking agent, so it's about throwing the net out and hoping that the right people will come back. It's also researching Facebook groups, finding out who's the active person in that town, who's the go-getter, and you finally find the right people. The community gigs are sometimes most tough to get because because there's a lot of protocol and you have to go through a whole filtering process. And with the schools as well, you have to fit around their schedules. Prisons as well. No, it's all quite tough, but it took me about 8 months to the point of leaving, and then it continues on the road. And people double book and cancel shows and want to pull out last minute, and that's just par for the course. That's the music industry normally. So you have to deal with that, but just every day for 3 months. Yeah.
Is your mom also in the industry?
No, my mom's not at all in the industry. My mom's she is in finance, but she has a personal story as well that she was molested as a child. So that's one of my inspirations, was that, and she's gotten quite involved this year with the community gigs as well, helping me with that. And I think she's really enjoying that because people don't know how to get involved. They don't know how to be to get into community work. And I always say, everybody has a skill of some kind. I happen to have music, and there's a synergy, there's a beauty in that synergy where you're doing your career, you're living your dream and you're also living a passion, whatever that causes, whether it's animals or people or whatever. I think it gives you a lot of reward and it changes your life.
Absolutely, the feeling of doing something for the community when we're not getting the message through to the right people.
Absolutely. I think the only way for me, but a lot of people say, why don't you do a big rock concert? Because I have a lot of celebrity friends, and I'm an event organizer in Joburg for little music festivals. But I really don't believe that it's the same impact as being in front of somebody in an intimate show or at a school where you're talking to the kids directly. I think that has, per person, I think you have more impact than if you're at a big rock concert and the focus is off it. And I think intention is important because we're not intending, people had asked me in last tour, why are you doing this? Are you trying to, help your career and all that? In fact, it has the opposite effect. People don't really want to get involved with me after the tour because I'm now labeled a charity singer. But it's fine. I think that the benefit of it is, of course, I'm playing to Pofada crowds and New Bethesda and people that never get music. So you walk in there and you perform. By the time you leave, to them you're amazing, and to them they'll be a fan for life, and that's something that you can't get from performing in the cities.
Because you're giving from the heart?
Yeah, I think so, and I like to think I'm actually good at what I do. But obviously, people don't get to see you. So if they've never seen you perform, they don't know who you are. Then they would never look for it.
Natalie, great to meet you. I hope that you enjoy your last few hours with us here on the South Coast, and maybe you'll get to see the sea a little bit and enjoy how we get to live. Thank you so much for your time and everything that you've been doing for the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And for those who still have the opportunity of doing the Natalie Chapman experience, it's an emotional roller coaster. Well worth it. Gives a whole new meaning to the word soul music. Go and enjoy. Absolutely brilliant.
No.